You guys have had the install, the video. You know this Houston team. You just played them. What's like the number one topic on your mind? Like you must do to win this series.
Turnovers and defensive rebounding. They're a team that wins games by missing shots. That's what it comes down to. And if we can keep them out of transition and make them play in the half court, it becomes tough on them.
You are involved also in that defensive rebound. You are obviously put up big rebound totals. You just go try to find a big guy to put a body on. What's in your mindset when you're playing teams that have big centers that rebound well? What are you thinking?
Well, I think for me and Moses, with that first group guarding Van Vleet and Green, those two don't really crash the glass as much. So it's how can me and Moses help, keep Amen Thompson off the glass, Sengun off the glass, Brooks off the glass. So I think we just got to help in there. And then it becomes tough when they play Adams and Sengun together. But it's just a collective effort from all five of us.
Brandon, what's the key to offsetting the Rockets' physicality defensively, especially the way that they're pounding and even holding on to Steph?
Spacing, cutting, transition. They're really good when they can score and set up their defense in half court because they play with so much pressure. But just getting to space, understanding what we're trying to get to, and not just being in such like miscellaneous action for most of the game, I think we'll be fine.
Since you've been here, how have you seen Steph adjust to things like that? I mean, whether it's in real time but especially being able to have a series like this, how do you think he's going to be able to adjust game to game and use that experience that he has?
Yeah, I think he knows that some games it'll be his night to do his thing and score 40. Other times it'll be his night to get 15 assists. And I think him and Jimmy have that same mindset. And so they know it takes a whole collective group out there to win a series and a game. So I think he's going to do whatever the game calls for. Every game is going to be a little bit different in how teams guard us and what they try to do defensively. But I think, he's been through this millions of times. So he's always going to make the adjustment that's right for us to win.
Brandon, how do you sort of reflect on the arc of your season with some of the early struggles, some of the injuries, and obviously played a lot better these last couple months? And I know you and I talked the other day about Jimmy's impact on the whole lineup, but how much has Jimmy, in your mind, helped unlock your game?
Yeah, like I told you the other day, he's a pass-first star, which is pretty rare in this league. There's only a few of them that really enjoy passing and getting their teammates involved. And so to have that, it became a lot easier for the rest of us just in terms of our shot quality. And then you see a few easy ones go down, and then the tough ones become easier as well. So I think it's been great for us, and I think he's done a great job of including everybody and not just being it about himself. And so that's all you could ask for in a superstar.
In one related question, Draymond very memorably spoke earlier this year about how much pressure you put on yourself and how he was trying to get you to stop doing that. How has that played a role in your surge here these last couple months? Have you relaxed, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, I told Monty yesterday I don't put any pressure on myself. I think the pressure comes from guys that aren't prepared and that aren't ready for the moment. And I think if there's no expectation for yourself and you don't put an expectation on what you can accomplish, there's no pressure when it comes to like making or missing shots in these type of games, these type of moments.
Along those lines, Brandon, it does seem like you're finding your shot at the right times and just in a groove. Has everything sort of with Jimmy settled down for everybody in their roles and when to do what, so to speak? I
think so. Just based on our combinations, you kind of understand, at least for me in particular, I know what to expect given who's on the floor, whether I'm with Steph and Jimmy or just Jimmy, because I know I'm going to be on the floor when Steph's off the floor. So knowing who I'm going to be out there with, what things as a point guard I can run for whom, and if we want to exploit a matchup is something that I've learned and kind of grown into since we've got Jimmy. And it's become way easier just in terms of flow offense, and it's not as much miscellaneous stuff like I'd mentioned.
And Steve was just mentioning how poise and composure will be crucial in this series. Did he bring that up today at all? Or, there's a lot of history between some of the players on both sides, from Gary getting his elbow fractured some years ago on the foul by Brooks and things like that. Is that a topic?
Yeah, he's mentioned it yesterday and today in our film sessions, and it's the same thing. I mean, in the regular season, we had a couple 20-point leads there in Houston, and then they came back because of the pressure. The crowd got into it, and so It's just being poised and composed, and when things aren't going right, what is something that we can get back to that'll really help us. And I think that comes not turning the ball over and defensive rebounding.
Hi, Brandon. First time in the playoffs. How are you feeling? How's the prep been this week?
I'm excited. Filled with gratitude that I'm in this position. Being a starter on a playoff team, nothing more you can really ask for in your second year. And it's just happy that I can make a positive impact, and glad that we have 4 games to win.
When you think back to training camp, you guys have had so many different quote-unquote X factors throughout this year. What did you expect out of Gui Santos compared to what he's done for you guys this season now?
I think you never want to set an expectation of a teammate or a player, what they can and can't do. You understand what he's good at and what he's not good at, and that's everybody on the team. And what you could see from training camp to now is just the competitiveness, the grit, kind of similar to some of the things I used to do last year. You could just see that, and then when he's playing out there, he just understands like that's his role, and he really buys into that. And so Steve's kind of had no other choice but to play him in moments where, we need him like that. And I think this series is going to be big for him, coming in, helping us rebound against bigs, and then getting us extra possessions, which, usually end up in Steph threes, which kind of gets him going off offensive rebound or an easy bucket for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think last game, 5 minutes, 3 offensive rebounds. How much can you guys feed off of the energy in real time on the court that he gives?
Yeah, our points per possession when we get offensive rebounds is, through the roof. And so any extra possession we can get, it's going to benefit us, especially against a defensive team like Houston.
Brandon, Janie referenced the history. I realize you weren't here at the time, but the Warriors played the Rockets 4 times in 5 years in that stretch where they went to the finals every year. Do you recall watching any of those games? And there's some memorable sort of duels with Harden and Steph and Chris Paul and Dwight Howard. Do you have any memories of watching that as a teenager?
I do. Watched a bunch of those guys play. Obviously, James was in his prime during that time, and Chris Paul was over there too. And so watching those guys battle, and the Warriors having the team they did with KD was pretty special to watch. But I think the cool thing about Houston is their grittiness, and to see their fan base and their support kind of buy into that grittiness. It's a lot like playing in Memphis too.
You think Kuminga could have an impact in this series?
I do. I think he should stay ready. I think he's been an ultimate professional about it. I think you look at the game we won here without Steph and Dre. I think he had 33 that game and had a really big impact. And so we all know he could do it. So I expect him to have a good series and make a positive impact.